We'll be starting with Jharkhand State Food Processing Policy of 2015. Now, the main objective of food processing policy of the state is to promote infrastructure facilities, encourage investment, develop market networks, provide technical assistance, etc., for establishment of food processing units. The government aims to provide benefits to investors while developing agriculture and allied sectors to bring the state to a leading position in field of food processing. The main objective of this policy are as follows: to increase the level of processing, reduce the amount of waste material, increase the income of farmers, and promote exports so as to encourage the food processing sector as a whole. To increase the income of tribal community people by encouraging minor forest produce, herbal products, etc., providing financial assistance for setting up new food processing units in addition to improving the technical level and expanding the existing units, linking producers and manufacturers to market system, to arrange complete conservation of for prepared food items and to ensure access of food items from producing areas to consumer and markets, providing proper facilities in meat and fish shops so that the availability of healthy food items can be ensured. To achieve the above objective, the government of Jharkhand is focusing on the development of infrastructure, proper environment, capital investment, technical and skill development, financial assistance, and restoration of other facilities. Jharkhand State Export Policy of 2015. The Jharkhand Export Policy has been adopted by the state government in the year 2015 with the target of bringing state share in the country's total exports to 2% by 2019. The important points of this policies are as follows: to implement a simple, effective, cooperative and responsible system for rapid growth in exports, promotion of traditional exports of mineral-based products, handicrafts, handlooms, agriculture, pro-state food, etc., development of efficient and technical systems for this, to transport seasonal flowers, fruits, vegetables to the designated places by planes within the stipulated time, paying attention to the current exporting units and providing them necessary support to encourage exports, to develop quality management and environment management system as per international norms so that exports can be taken up to international level, to make appropriate efforts to develop more and more partnerships in international trade, extending financial assistance to exporters, to organize export awareness programs from time to time to create awareness amongst exporters and others on export related issues. To fulfill the above objective, the government of Jharkhand is trying to promote international trade, single window system, strong analytical data, e-governance, public-private partnership, research and development programs, etc. Jharkhand Film Policy of 2015. The Jharkhand Film Policy has been implemented in the year 2015 with the aim of promoting film production in the state, promotion of folk art, and encouraging film production in folk languages of the state. Under this policy, Jharkhand Film Development Corporation and the State Level Film Development Council have been formed in the state. It is proposed to develop Sangeet Natya Academy as State Film Television Institute. Film production based on Jharkhand folk culture will be promoted in the state by this institution. Film City will be built in the state and investment will be encouraged for this. Along with this, state land will be made available by the government on industrial rate for the construction of Film City. Loans will be made available on easy terms for construction of infrastructure related to film production in the state. Equipment related to film production will be made available on rent. For the construction of multiplexes in the state, 100% grant will be given in the first year, 75% in the second year, third year, and 50% in the fourth year and fifth year. Year and fifth year. Now, small cinema halls in the state will be encouraged as well as closed cinema halls will be restarted. Solar powered cinema halls will be given a grant equal to 50% of the total investment amount. In addition to entertainment tax, ₹6 per ticket and ₹3 can be charged for air conditioner and other facilities by cinema halls of the state. Film whose 50% shooting is done in the state will be given 50% exemption in entertainment tax for 6 months. Similarly, up to 75% exemption in entertainment tax will be given to the films whose 75% shooting is done in the state. Electricity tax exemption will be provided for 3 years for installation of captive power plant generators in theatres. The provision of funding for films whose 75% part shot in the state has been made in this policy, and for this, Film Development Fund has been constituted. For this fund, a provision of surcharge of ₹2 has been made on movie tickets. Now, provision has been made in the policy to give 50% subsidy to films made in the regional language of the state, 25% to the regional language of Hindi and other languages. For this, an annual grant of rupees 10 crore has been fixed. A grant of up to rupees 550 lakh will be provided to films exclusively telecasting tourist places in the state. Efforts will be made to popularize the films of masses by organizing film festivals, organizing awards, strengthening film societies, etc. in the state. Now, Jharkhand Industrial Park Policy of 2015, with the aim of providing employment to the residents of Jharkhand, Industrial Park Policy 2015 has been formulated in the state. This policy will be applicable for the next 5 years from the date of issue of notification. Provision has been made in the policy under Section 49 of Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act of 1908. Permissions will be granted by Deputy Commissioner for establishment of industrial park. Under this policy, a provision has been made for establishment of industrial parks in the state through private sector joint venture, public-private partnership. It will be constructed on a 50-acre land in which at least 15 industrial units will be established. It is mandatory to set up at least 10 acres of land and 5 industrial units in private sector or joint ventures for setting up specific industrial parks. The land will be arranged by the private sector itself for setting up industrial parks in private sector, but if the land is available with the state government, then a maximum of 35% of the total land earmarked for industrial parks can be allotted by the government. This land will be allotted for at least 30 years. 60% of the total allotted for private industrial park will be reserved for industrial units, and 40% establishments of micro, small and medium units. It will be mandatory to develop 40% of the total allotted land as infrastructure or green area. Financial assistance of 50% of the total project cost or maximum of rupees 10 crore will be provided by the state government for the construction of infrastructure to private industrial parks. Similarly, 50% of the total project cost or a maximum of rupees 7 crore will be provided as financial assistance for specific industrial parks. The maximum period of financial assistance given for industrial parks will be 10 years, which will be renewed after 5 years. Private industrial parks should be completed within 3 years from the date of approval. If the industrial park is not constructed within the prescribed period, or if the rules are broken, the industrial park will be taken over by the state government with the approval of state cabinet. Now, Jharkhand Automobile and Auto Components Policy of 2015. India is the second largest manufacturer of two-wheelers in the world, and state of Jharkhand is the leading state in the country in terms of manufacturing of automobiles and auto components. Jamshedpur in case in point. Along with other cities of the country, Jamshedpur Adityapur of Jharkhand has been developed as an auto cluster. Jharkhand Automobile and Auto Components Policy has been formulated in the year 2015 in view of huge possibilities of auto manufacturing in the state. The main objective of this policy are as follows: to develop the state as a major center for manufacturing of automobiles and auto components in the eastern India, to create additional 50,000 employment opportunities in this sector by the year 2020, attracting mega auto projects in the state, establishing new auto clusters and strengthening existing auto clusters, to encourage manufacturers to set up in Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 auto components in the state, to identify the deficiencies in the currently established infrastructure affecting the automobile and auto components industries and to eradicate these deficiencies, to encourage skill development based on public-private partnership in the state. Jharkhand Single Windows Clearance Act of 2015. Jharkhand Single Window Clearance Act has been enacted in the year 2015 to encourage industrial development in the state, to provide speedy and time-bound approval of various licenses, permissions and approvals, to create an investment-friendly environment in the state by making new investment easy and simple, simplifying the regulatory framework. Other important facts: to fulfill the objective of the Act, governing body will be constituted with the Chief Minister as its chairman. Other members of this body will be the Industries Minister, Finance Ministry, Revenue and Land Reforms Minister and Chief Secretary. The Secretary of Industries will be member secretary of this body. The main task of the governing body will be to decide strategic guidelines for single window clearance and industry simplifications. Under this act, a high-level committee will be constituted under the chairmanship of the chief secretary, whose main task is to regularly inspect, supervise, and oversee the works of single window clearance committee, agency, district level nodal agency, and district executive committee for industry simplification and single window clearance, and also to review. A single window clearance committee will be constituted under the chairmanship of Principal Secretary of Industries and of Industries Department, whose main function will be to grant approval for setting up of an enterprise or starting its operation. Under the provisions of the Act, a district executive committee will be constituted under the chairmanship of Deputy Commissioner of the district, whose main task will be to regularly monitor, supervise, and review the work of the district level nodal agency. The district level nodal agency will assist in promoting the investment activities in the district. It also provides proper guidance to entrepreneurs for various approvals. Jharkhand Food Processing Industry Policy of 2015. Almost half of the state of the Jharkhand is engaged in agriculture and primary sector. The climatic condition in the state is also favorable for agricultural work. Therefore, there are immense possibilities for the development of agriculture and allied activities. While on one hand, new employment opportunities can be created developing of food processing industries. On the other hand, new opportunities of income can be created by meeting the food requirements of other states. Now, Jharkhand Food Processing Industry Policy has been formulated in the year 2015, keeping in view the possibilities of development of food processing industries in the state. The main objective of this policy is to create a favorable environment for the establishment of food processing units in the state, to encourage capital investment, technical upgradation, and to develop marketing networks, to provide grants and concessions. The main provisions of this policy are as follows. An aid of 35% will be provided to the total cost of the plant and technical civil work, but a maximum amount of aid in general will be 500 lakh, matlab 5 crore rupees, and the amount aid in integrated tribal development product area will be 45%. Projects will be 45%. For the establishment of primary processing centers and collection centers in rural areas, 50% of the project cost will be assessed by the bank for general areas, and 75% in case of ITDP area, which will be given as aid with a maximum of rupees 2.5 crore. 35% maximum limit 7 crore of the total cost of the construction of cold storage, value addition, and conservation infrastructure will be given as grant and aid. And for ITDP sector, this amount will be 50% of the total cost. For establishment or modernization of meat and fish shops, 50% of the project cost, maximum 5 lakh rupees, will be provided as grant and aid. For ITDP sector, this amount will be 75% of the total cost. In view of high production of pulses in Garhwa, Palamu, pulses processing unit will be set up. Tomato processing unit will be set up in Latehar in view of the large production of tomatoes. Now, Jharkhand Fodder Processing Industry Policy of 2015. Jharkhand has immense possibilities for development of animal husbandry, which includes meat, dairy, piggery, goat rearing, poultry, and fishing. Availability of suitable fodder is an important condition for the development of this sector. Jharkhand Food Fodder Processing Industry Policy of 2015 has been formulated in perspective of the possibilities of development of animal husbandry in the state. The main objective of this policy is to exploit fodder production possibilities in the state by increasing demand for agriculture byproducts. Its benefit can also be provided to farmers. Now, the other objective of this policy is to create a favorable environment for setting up fodder processing units in the state, to encourage capital investment, technical upgradation, and to develop marketing network, and to provide grants and concessions. The main provision of this policy are as follows. In general areas, 35%, maximum 500 lakh aid will be provided on the total cost of the plant, technical civil work. The amount of assistance in the integrated tribal development project sector will be up to 45%, maximum 500 lakh. Jharkhand State Solar Energy Policy of 2015. Jharkhand State Solar Energy Policy has been implemented in the year 2015 with the objective of reducing dependence on fossil fuels and encouraging the use of renewable source of energy in the state. The main objectives of these policies are as follows. To generate 2,650 megawatts of solar power by the year 2020 with the help of private sector, creating a suitable environment for the construction of solar power projects, to ensure production of environmental pollution-free energy in the state, to encourage local manufacturing units in the production of solar energy in state and create employment. Now, under this policy, the following targets has been set for energy production in relation to the coming years. Solar PV power plants, FY total, we want to gain 2.1 gigawatts from there. Rooftop solar, we are aiming for 0.5 gigawatts. Rooftop thermal power plants, solar thermal power plants, we are aiming for a mere 0.05, matlab 50 megawatts of solar thermal power plants. Now, moving on, the main provisions of this policy are as follows. The state government will provide incentives for setting up solar power parks, and for this, unproductive land or other fallow land in the state will be allotted for solar power. Infrastructure will be developed by Jharkhand State Electricity Regulatory Commission, JSERC, for setting up solar parks, and financial aid will be provided by the state government to encourage solar energy. JREDA, Jharkhand Renewable Energy Development Agency, has been made the nodal agency. The state government will install rooftop plants on government and private buildings. For this, 53 government buildings have been selected. Exemption in electricity duty will be provided for 10 years on the project to be set up in the field of solar energy. The solar power plant will be given the status of deemed industry so that the rules of Jharkhand industrial policy will not apply to this sector. Commercial rebate will be provided to residential consumers for installing solar power plants on their rooftop. The equipments used in the solar plant will be kept out of the purview of value-added tax. Solar power units will be exempted from pollution clearances and will not be required to obtain permission from Jharkhand State Pollution Control Board. Now, Jharkhand State Tourism Policy. The main objective of the tourism policy of the Jharkhand State are as follows: creating employment opportunities and increasing the number of tourists, to make proper use of available resources so that maximum number of domestic and foreign tourists can be attracted for tourism in the state for a long time, to develop each tourist area as a special exclusion area, to increase the participation of private sector in development of tourism area and to provide them basic facilities in the state. Preparation and implementation of master plan and integrated development of tourism areas to provide quality service to domestic and foreign tourists. Promotion of tourism related products to save cultural monuments from the state from decay. Ensuring the participation of common people in tourism sector and providing economic benefits to people by encouraging cooperative tourism. To give prominent place to Jharkhand in different areas of tourism based on air, land, water based adventure. To develop religious tourism by developing proper facilities and information to preserve Jharkhand's rich handloom industry, cultural heritage, tradition and customs, and to take adequate steps for their promotion to make the administrative system efficient, simple and transparent in the field of tourism. Now, Jharkhand State Food Security Act of 2015, in the light of central government's National Food Security Act of 2013, the Food Security Act was implemented in the state on September 25, 2015. Under the scheme, food security can be ensured for more than 2.33 lakh people of the state. Under the scheme, more than 37 lakh people will get benefit of the food security under Antyodaya Yojana. Under the scheme, 35 kilograms of food grains will be made available per month to the families included in the Antyodaya category. Under the scheme, people belonging to the priority group of needy people will get 5 kilograms of food grains per person per month. Under the scheme, rice and wheat will be distributed to beneficiaries at a rate of rupees 1 kilo per. There's a difference between rice and wheat. Nevertheless, the beneficiaries will be identified on the basis of SECC, that is Socioeconomic Caste Census of 2011. Under this scheme, 110 kgs of rice will be provided free of cost to the BPL category persons above 65 years of age. Under the scheme, pregnant and lactating mothers will be provided financial assistance of rupees 6,000 in form of free food and maternity benefits through Anganwadi centers for 6 months from the date of birth of child. Now, Jharkhand Purchase Policy of 2014, as a new Jharkhand Purchase Policy has been implemented in the year 2015 by amending the purchase policy implemented in the year 2007 in the state, which focused on the development of local micro and small scale industries. The main objective of the new Jharkhand Purchase Policy is to provide protection to the local micro and small scale industries. The main provision of the policy are as follows. For the development and promotion of micro and small enterprises, their products will be purchased by the state government on priority basis. Appropriate efforts will be made to make the micro and small scale industries of the state competitive. The products of micro and small scale industries will be purchased by state government departments, institutions, and aided agencies. All administrative departments, agencies, boards, corporations, development authorities, municipalities, notified area committees, cooperative bodies, and other institutions working under the control of the state government, which receive grants from the state government of the company in which the state government holds 50% or more stakes. It is mandatory for them to purchase at least 20% of the total purchase in form of micro and small products for the year 2014 and 15 and for the next 3 years. After 3 years, from April 1st, 2017, it will be also mandatory for them to manufacture products and services and at least 20% of the total purchase target. Under this policy, 20%, that is 4% of the total of the annual purchase target of the 20% fixed in micro and small production units have been fixed for units owned by scheduled castes and tribes. Every department of the state, aided institution, and public undertakings will display the annual report related to the fixed purchase targets on the website. The purchase price rate has been reserved for the bid system for good and inventory produced by the public sector units of the state. Under the MSMED Act of 2006, the Micro and Small Industries Facilitation Council has been constituted to solve the delay in payments to micro and small units. Now, Right to Service Act 2011. The Right to Service Act has been implemented in the state in the year 2011. In this act, provision has been made to provide civil services to officers, employees of the state within a fixed time period. A total of 172 services has been included in this list, the execution of which is to be required to be done within the prescribed time limit. So this is similar to Citizen Charter. This is the Citizen Charter movement in legislation form, that is Right to Service Act. The amount of fine will be deducted from the salary of the offending officer or employee. Provision has been made for the financial penalty ranging from Rs 500 to 5,000 for guilty officers employee if service is not provided within the prescribed time limit. That'll be all for this video. We have completed the policies of Jharkhand in 2 videos. Thank you.